Social media is most likely the lead way you talk to people online and the lead user of the time you spend on your phone. Almost everybody has a social media account, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, or some other platform. This is a very controversial topic because it's become integrated so deeply into our lives. Everyone has their own separate opinion, whether it is that it rots your brain or that it is an extraordinary way of connecting and socializing with others. Here are the pros. Anybody is able to talk to anyone. This means you could find someone with similar interests and connect with your friends as well as make some. When you can find people with similar interests, you could also find companies and business with your interests as well. Instead of getting ads for big companies like McDonald's or holiday deals at Macy's, you could receive ads about your sports, arts, makeup, and countless other interests. From well thought out, edited videos on YouTube to daily stories on Snapchat. Emailing could be way too formal, and texting could be difficult. Social media is probably the easiest and most efficient way to find someone and talk to them. Social media brings you to people compared of traditional texting or emailing when you have to go out and find their number or email first. With the efficiency to talk to anyone and the ability to have an online persona, many things could go wrong. Here are the cons. An online persona is another person we create through social media. This person could be funny, happy, or constantly be in beautiful places. We work on creating a persona that reflects the very best parts of ourselves. This can give you or other people a perception of your life that is much more glamorous than it actually is, because social media highlights the only best of the times. When we compare our online persona with our own, it could become hazardous to the way we think about ourselves. Looking through your social media and others can make our life outside of social media seem not nearly as extravagant. When comparing your real life and online life, your online life will always seem more glamorous. Social media is designed to be highly addictive. Every time you get a notification that someone liked a post or that you get a new follower, your brain gives you a hit of dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical your brain releases when you complete something. It is the way your brain rewards you for getting something done. Dopamine is responsible for that feel-good feeling you get after working out or finishing your homework early. Without dopamine, we would all be extreme procrastinators. Because dopamine helps us get things done and leaves us feeling good, we are constantly craving dopamine. And because we are constantly craving dopamine, we're also constantly craving social media. This can affect us by not only being eager to pick up our phones every time we hear them buzz, but it also affects us when we don't get notifications, and therefore we don't get that dopamine hit. There's also a toxic side of social media that is filled with body shaming, threatening, and cruelty. When parents don't let their children get Instagram or Snapchat, they're normally worried about cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is different from bullying in person because things like rumors that could get spread through many people in a very short amount of time. Online, it is easier to say things that would be difficult to say in person. This could lead to people saying horrible things to others. It's much easier to say something horrible through text than saying it in person. This is the reason why bullying is such a serious problem online. What can we do about this? There are many things that we could do to solve the cons of social media. The most simple solution would be turning off notification for certain apps, but that is inconvenient in certain situations. Some apps, like Instagram, have the capability to silence notifications for certain aspects, like comments, followers, or likes. It is better to stay away from social media when you don't have to be on it. Texting, messaging, calling, or FaceTiming someone is much better than contacting them through social media. Stopping streaks is also a great decision that could be useful if you find yourself constantly picking up your phone.
The cons of social media are pretty easy to avoid. All you have to do is lightly monitor yourself. Many are focusing on how social media is right now, but few are focusing on how it will evolve and change in the future, which is just as or more important. For example, some experts say that a rise of people will have to pay for a premium account to escape a barrage of ads, but fear not all future predictions are just as bad. Some experts believe that there will be a variety of changes to the ways you can post and who sees it. For example, Google Plus attempted integrating a feature where you can put certain people into certain groups and send off a post to one of those groups. Though it was not widely taken in as a success due to certain bugs with the feature, social grouping hasn't disappeared. In fact, it's being used today on Instagram as a new feature called Close Friends. In this built-off version of stories, you can choose who can and cannot see this different type of story and then send it off. While this feature is pretty insignificant, it shows us a bright future in social grouping.
Like companies, social media had a very small and humble beginning. Social media was originally made to connect like-minded people to come together and have discussions. Most social media sites are made for basic purposes like chatting with people or catching up with friends. The social media that you might know is mostly used to have people connect on a more ironically social level. That is considered a more open way to express thoughts to a bigger audience of your peers and friends. Now, with the new increase in technological advancements, you don't even need to know the person to meet them on the internet. To the point where you can be at one moment looking at photos of friends on a trip somewhere to video calling your best friend who happens to live in Russia. Social media sites are definitely stepping up their game with big budget social networking companies backing them up. They're now aiming at the younger generations and their fascination at apps that allegedly delete all of your data and presence on the site. Sites like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are realizing that with more than a million people registered already and at least 11 people registering accounts every second around the globe, they could make some serious bank. That is at least 67% of all phone usage is on social media sites and social networking sites. With such astronomical numbers of people on social media, they're putting ads and making a huge load of money in the process.
Out of all social media sites, I'd say that I use Instagram the most. And then after that would be Twitter. I use Instagram and Twitter a lot because I find them to be good platforms to promote my content. My life inside and outside social media is very different. A lot of people that I know in person don't know that I'm an artist, but online I focus on an artistic persona. I'm influenced by ads on social media all the time. I find that ads bring a lot of content to me that I enjoy. I find other artists through ads, and I find art equipment and software that I like to use through advertising on social media. I prefer texting over a typical social media communication because I find it to be a lot more personal. And on social media, it's a lot more public, but I like to keep my conversations more private. I do receive hate online. Everyone that puts themselves out there for long enough will receive hate. As an artist, what I try to do is take the hate and see if it's constructive. If it's not constructive, I try to reject it. After enough time, you build up, I guess you could say, a thick skin, where it doesn't get to you as much.